Hi everyone, so for our political math project, we are looking at the 2022 Myanmar general election. We are specifically focusing on the missing seat in the Amurata Hulutu, which is the upper house. Are we all ready to dive in?
Absolutely. To give a little background, Myanmar's upper house has a total of 224 seats, and out of those, 168 are elected by the public, and the rest are military appointed. In 2020, the Union Election Commission canceled voting in several townships, mainly in Rakhine and Shan State, citing security concerns.
Wait, so this has completely cancelled the election on those specific area? That might have really impacted the ethnic minority living there, right?
Exactly. It meant 7 seats in Amyuta were never filled.
That's right. Since the election was cancelled, what kind of data we can even use to study this or figure it out what should have happened?
Good question. We're using a counterfactual model to do a seat projection. We used the 2015 township level election results as a proxy for the cancelled areas. Basically, if a party like the Arakan National Party won a township in 2015, we project that they would have won it again in our 2020 simulation. In 2020, only 161 of the 168 elected seats were actually filled. The actual result gave the NLD 138 seats, the USDP 7 seats, and ethnic minority parties 16 seats. But when we applied our 2015 proxy to the 7 cancelled township, the simulated total for ethnic minority parties jumped to 23 seats. Well, that means if those regions hadn't been cancelled, ethnic parties would have seen a 43.7% increase in their seat count.
I think we can use two math concepts. First is the Gallagher index, which measures the disproportionality between percentage of vote a party receives and the percentage of seats they win. A higher score means the system heavily favored the winning party at the expense of minorities. The second is representation ratio, which simply compares the percentage of seats won by ethnic minority parties against their actual percentage of national population.
Right. So when we ran the Gallagher index for the actual 2020 results, the NLD score was around 24.5. Any score above 15 is considered high disproportionality. This meant one national party won 85.7% out of the elected seats with about 61% of the popular vote.
Whoa, so the map really gave little chance to ethnic minority parties?
Yes, but here is the crazy part. By including our 7 simulated ethnic seats, the unfairness index drops to 20.1. By restoring the 7 constituencies in our simulation, the ethnic minority seat share increases from 12.4 to 16.1%, which is a relative growth of 35% in minority representation. This means more equality in political representation.
Well, speaking of representation, we can also look at the representation ratio. Non-Bamar ethnic groups make up about 32% of Myanmar's population. In the actual 2020 election, the representation ratio was only 0.31. In our simulated scenario where they get those 7 missing seats, the ratio goes up to 0.43. I mean, even in this best case simulation, they're still mathematically underrepresented because the ratio is well below 1.0. But the cancellations, as you can see, silenced their voices even further, dropping their power from an already low 0.43 to an even lower 0.31.
This is a huge drop. So, what the final significance of this result for our proposal?
So I think our analysis shows us three important conclusions. The first thing is that vote cancellations can have a disproportionately large effect on ethnic minority parties and their influence in the parliament. Secondly, these cancellations can erode political trust because the composition of the Myanmar together with these types of cancellations can together create a type of functional gerrymandering that marginalizes the voices of ethnic minorities. So this is something we need to keep in mind when we look at future political decisions. Finally, if we look at the polls in 2026, 67 townships were excluded from the polls, which means even a more magnified effect of the cancel vote phenomenon. So it means Myanmar, in fact, has been demoted from a pseudo-democratic society to a full autocracy.